All right, let's dive into Miyamoto Musashi's Book of Five Rings. In this explainer, we're tackling the big ideas from the fourth scroll, the Wind Scroll.
So let's kick things off with a question that I think really gets to the heart of our modern world. Why is it that we so often confuse something that looks complicated with something that's actually, skillful? Does being complex automatically mean it's effective?
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We're going to pull out three key insights from Musashi that you can literally start using today to bring a little more clarity and focus into your own life.
So, where does this wisdom come from? Well, our journey starts with the source itself, the fourth scroll in Musashi's legendary text on strategy. Just picture it. This was written by a warrior in a cave, looking back on a whole lifetime of undefeated duels.
Now, Musashi's main point here wasn't just to, throw shade at his rivals. Not at all. He was trying to teach his students something much deeper. He wanted them to see other schools and traditions as different kinds of wind. Think about it. These are just styles and opinions that can totally blow you off course if you don't have a calm, solid center to anchor yourself. And what's really fascinating, just amazing really, is how his critique from way back in the 17th century perfectly nails a modern psychological problem we all deal with, the incredible power of bias. See, Musashi looked around and saw that other martial arts schools were getting way too attached to their own identity. Their specific techniques, their brand. They were falling right into what you could call a style trap. And this created huge blind spots, making it impossible for them to see strategies that were way more direct and, frankly, just more effective. And this points to a really key insight. A lot of the time, complexity is just a product for sale. Think about it. These other schools were selling this endless stream of new and secret techniques. But Musashi saw right through it. He knew it was all just a distraction from a simple truth. Real skill comes from mastering a few things that actually work. And he saw these specific biases pop up everywhere. You had schools that were totally attached to one particular length of sword, or obsessed with pure speed instead of good timing, or they'd teach all this flashy footwork that looked really impressive but was completely unstable. And here's the bottom line. This attachment to style always puts appearance over effectiveness. And when you do that, you create weaknesses. So you might be asking, what was Musashi's solution to all this noise and bias? Well, it was a return to something radical, something elegant. It was a return to simplicity. And this leads to one of his most powerful teachings. He said, if you know one thing, you can know 10,000 things. Just let that sink in. What he means is, if you truly and deeply understand a core principle, you can apply that knowledge in 1,000, 10,000 different situations. See, mastery isn't about collecting more and more techniques. It's about going deeper into the fundamentals. Okay, but this brings us to a really important distinction. There's a huge difference between the simplicity of a beginner and the simplicity of a master. A master doesn't just start simple. They move through all the complexity to find that elegant, simple solution on the other side. It's a kind of simplicity that you have to earn through a ton of practice. Okay, so how does the wisdom of some legendary swordsman from centuries ago actually apply to your life, right now? Let's make this super practical. Let's talk about work. In your career that Wind Musashi talks about, it's that constant storm of new tools, the latest productivity hack, all those corporate buzzwords. Musashi's advice here would be to stop chasing every single trend. Instead, double down on the core skills that actually create value and get real results. And what about our relationships? Well, the wind there can show up as drama, mind games, unspoken rules, all that complicated stuff. The truly effective path, it's about replacing all that complexity with this simple, powerful practice of being direct and honest, and doing it with a calm, centered spirit. And when it comes to building better habits for yourself, forget those massive, complicated life overhaul plans that never stick. The lesson from the Wind Scroll is to focus on the incredible power of just one fundamental change. Master one small, repeatable action until it's as natural as breathing. So you see the pattern here, right? The same core idea applies everywhere. In every important area of your life, the real path forward is about cutting out the non-essential and just focusing on what's simple and what actually works. Okay, to make this really concrete, I want to give you a simple little practice. It's a tool you can use anytime you feel overwhelmed by that wind of other people's opinions, or by complexity, or even your own biases. We can call it your daily wind reset. It's super straightforward. Whenever you're in a confusing situation, just follow these 3 steps.
Step 1. Just pause. Take a breath and observe what's really going on. Step 2. Cut through all the noise and ask yourself, what here is non-essential? And then step 3. Choose the most direct, simple, and effective action you can take. That's it.
All right, so let's just quickly recap the big ideas from today. First, style is not the same thing as skill. Don't confuse them. Second, your own bias is very often your biggest opponent. And finally, true mastery isn't found in complexity. It's found in that elegant simplicity on the other side, guided by a calm, unbiased spirit. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. If you want to keep going, be sure to check out our next episode on the mysterious Void Scroll. You can find it in our Book of Five Rings playlist.